Frank, you've stepped up your shoe game first.
I have.
Yeah, it's good to have you as a member.
This guy as a member.
That's right. You are bussing and popping. Hella Mad Riz all over the place.
I keep coming in with all these, dress shoes and stuff, and this guy's all
point.
dunked out,
Low key.
Him and my son. And then my son makes fun of me, so I'm like, all right, buddy, I'm going to show you up here.
Yeah.
What a Prada Dunks.
Prada Dunks, baby.
Prada Dunks.
Yeah.
I get one pair, he gets four. I love it.
We're back in the studio. This is the Real Biz Happy Hour, and this is where it goes down for all things entrepreneur.
That's it. And we've got a really special guest.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. And we've got some good stories to talk about today.
We sure do. So I'm going to introduce Bruce right now. We've got Bruce Parkman. He is with now is it what is it? Mac Foundation?
The Mac Parkman
That's
Foundation.
a good name.
Parkman.
Mac, M-A-C.
Can't go wrong with a
got
name
one
like
here.
Mac. Yeah.
No, you can't. And there's a lot of story to where you got that Mac from. You're also you're the author of a book that's #1 on Amazon right now. It's called Youth Contact Sports and Broken Brains.
Yes, sir.
So, Bruce, I had you on the show. God, man, it's probably been a year and a half or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. You had me back a couple times, man. We got off track down some rabbit holes. It was a lot of fun, dude, man.
We did. We
Down
did.
the rabbit holes.
Yes. Well, luckily you found your way out the other side of the rabbit hole. So.
Alice always did, so I figured.
Big or small, we make our way out. But yeah, so we're going to have this great interview with Bruce today, and you guys are going to find out his story and where the Mac Parkman Foundation came from. We're going to be talking about some great things for parents. So listen, I'm not going to tell you yet, but if you're a parent and you have children, especially children who are going to play in contact sports.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, stop what you're doing for the next 45 minutes. You need to listen to this show. It will change what you allow your children to do. It is going to be most of the most pivotal things you're ever going to.
It's an important show. This is an awareness show. We love doing shows like this. We talk about business and business owners. Today we have a message, and parents, please stay tuned. Please listen. It's awareness.
It is going to be great. So before we get started on that, we got to talk about what we do.
Yeah.
Jason J. Mack over here,
That's right.
Pinnacle Award winning.
Oh, man.
Team. I just
Making
saw
me blush
something.
over here.
You always blush. I just saw something on your screen a second ago.
There's a lot on that screen.
There is a lot.
A
It's
lot of
busy
nuggets
one.
and goodies.
It had a big world on there.
Yeah.
What is that stat?
Well, so there's 9,000 brokerages in the globe, spinning on that globe that spins around. We are number 47 in the world.
What?
Yes, number 47 in the world, number 27 in the country of USA.
That's absolutely
amazing.
Unbelievable. I don't even know what to say about that.
Well,
congratulations.
Wait till we get to number 1. That's what I got to say. We won't stop until we're number 1.
That's it.
Yep.
And then you and I both happened to win an award recently.
People's Choice.
Yes.
Tampa Bay Times.
Best of the best.
The people have spoken.
That's right.
Best of the best for real estate company, the McIntosh Group, and for mortgage company, Lincoln Lending.
That's it, guys. What are the chances? Two guys doing a radio show together, one a mortgage guy, the other a real estate guy, both get People's Choice.
2 guys, 2 mics, best of the best right here. And we only have the best guest on the show, and today we have one of the best, a man after my own heart with the Mac Parkman here Foundation, and man, oh man, you know.
Yes. Now I got to tell the truth. With all of our video stuff we've been redoing, I forgot to start our timer on our segment.
Oh no,
so
are we guessing?
Our producer, do you have any idea
We've
how
done
long
that
we've been
before.
running? So 4 minutes we've been running.
All right.
So sorry, listeners, but I just had to make sure that's right. So we've been running for 4 minutes. That means we've got 7 left. So I'm just going to cancel this and redo that. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. Jason and I are trying to make this show better for us all the time and for you listeners. And again, I think this show is going to be beyond amazing. So I'll say this. If you need a real estate agent, the McIntosh Group is the place to go. They know how to find the right house, no matter how tough the situation is, and negotiate the right deal.
And if you want to get in touch with us to do that, there's one place you need to go. We make it simple and easy. And we actually happen to know the guy, Frank the Bank Cotto, sitting to the left of me. You know, Bruce, his money doesn't jiggle. It doesn't even fold. It closes.
It closes.
Right? So that number will be 813-566-REAL. REAL. Always keeping it real.
That's right.
We make it real simple. We make it real easy. And we really know what we're doing.
We sort of
That's the
do.
good part. There's the globe.
Right. And there's the globe. There it is. Hey, and guys, by the way, if you hear something on this show, like when we hear about Bruce's story and the Mac Parkman Foundation and all that, and you want more information, you can call the 813-566-REAL. We'll get you in touch with them. We're going to be talking about some you might be able to win a boat on this show today.
Man,
Right?
a boat.
A boat. So if you like,
boat.
It's a good thing I came today.
Nice boat. Yeah, that's right. This guy likes boats.
Yeah.
I like friends' boats. They're the best.
Yeah.
That's why I hang out with
cheaper.
Bruce.
There you go, man. Yeah,
That's
it's a lot cheaper.
But anyway, yes, we are here to help you on your mortgage and real estate stuff. And I will announce this really quick on mortgages. A brand new product, FHA, just announced a 100%. Oh, he's going to put something on 100% financing product.
Yeah.
This is for single family and duplexes. So if you want to be an investor and you don't have a down payment, all you got to do is buy a duplex.
Yeah.
Live in half for a year.
Live in half.
And then it's your investment property for the rest of your life. Right? Amazing product. We're basically giving down payment. We're giving a free second mortgage in a way
Yeah.
to the people to get 100% financing for FHA purchases up to $472,000 of loan amount.
I mean, we're peeling back all of the excuses. There's really no reason not to do it. Well, I don't have the down payment. No problem. We'll figure that out for you.
Right.
Right? Well, I don't want to pay a mortgage. No problem. We'll figure that out for you.
Now, what if they need help with closing costs? What are you
I
going to
think
do?
we probably can negotiate some seller closing costs and concessions too.
Yes, you sure can.
Best of the best. We better be able to. What's the deal?
You better hold to that title.
Right.
So you can get 6% from the purchase price to cover closing
On
costs.
FHA, that's true.
On FHA. But we don't charge that much. So you're not going to
No,
need 6%.
that's right.
So anyway, rates are not that bad, guys. We're still right about the 40-year average right now.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. We're giving you houses with no down payment. Give us a call.
You know what? It goes back to our favorite saying. Marry the house, date the rate. Marry the house, date the rate. Get divorced and do it all over again.
You know, I heard that on TV the other day.
Yeah, they ripped us off.
They totally ripped us off. Is there copyright stuff we
They
can
don't
Maybe
do it as
Bruce
well.
can help us with copyright infringement.
Can you do
You're
that?
a good lawyer, man.
All right.
Let me help you out.
He
here.
does. Well, you just met with the lieutenant governor, I heard,
Oh,
as
wow.
well.
Did you shake hands with the governor?
No, well, I ended up. I was so focused on getting a hold of his wife because I know who the power is, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
any
oh, you're right
relationship,
about
we
that.
know where the power is.
You're damn right.
I went right for Casey DeSantis and talked
There
to
you
her
go.
for quite a long while. We got some
Good.
really great video, and she was very empathetic to what's
Yes.
going on here,
Awesome.
and offered her support for
That's
what we're
awesome.
doing. So yeah, it was really cool.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Let's we've got about 3 minutes left in this segment. Why don't we start just a little bit about who is Bruce? Who's Bruce Parkman? I know you served in the Army. Your color of your sweater matches what you did in the Army, Mr. Green Beret. So,
We're colorblind, Green Beret. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna tell you it's green.
That's more of a lime green. I don't know. It's a kiwi lime green.
You were not a
But-
Kiwi Beret, but no, he's gonna break my neck. after the
They
show.
might have one nowadays. I mean, I don't know.
You never know.
Some
Don't
of
ask,
those
don't tell.
recruitment videos. You know? It's like, whoa, Kiwis. But Jason, you're an Army veteran as well.
16 Tango, Patriot missile crew member. We spoke about that. Bruce is like, oh, the Fort Bliss. Yep, we've had a few. I'm sure we have a few stories, Fort Bliss stories.
Chico's Tacos, man.
Chico's
Can we
Tacos.
say anything more?
That's
I mean,
right.
Or Blake's Burgers.
Blake's Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all you vets listening, you know what they're saying. I have no damn clue what these
Well-
guys are saying. But Bruce, we got a couple minutes. Tell a little bit about your story. I mean, you did serve, which we love supporting our vets. So thank you for your service. And when we get in the next segment, we're gonna learn all about Mac as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate both of you bringing me on, and the fact that I
Absolutely.
do know both that your companies are very pro-veteran, and you go the extra mile
Absolutely.
to help our veterans, man, and I think everybody needs to know that. And as a veteran, I really appreciate that.
Well, just look around when you came into the office. Do you think that we are patriotic? It's the red, white, and blue everywhere you go. We like to call it, hit the green button there. It's a red, white, and blue explosion. And you know what? I like to say it's the land of the free because of the brave.
I absolutely agree, sir.
So, absolutely. Thank you for your service.
So when did you serve? What did you do?
I joined in 1980 when my father told me my only options were to get the hell out of the house
It's a
or
familiar
go
story.
in the Army. You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll try that Army thing. And
That's right.
Long story short, I went in for 2 years to get away from my home, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
a mess. And I remember that, like 40% of my class were the guys that were in front of the judge getting ready to go
Yeah.
to jail. And the judge said, all right, you can go to jail or you can do 4 years in the Army. Oh, guess what? I got this guy here from the Marine Corps and the Army, and
Yeah.
you can talk to them right now.
Yeah.
So I went into the Army with all these criminals, and I ended up becoming one. And about
right.
3 years later, my first sergeant was going to kick me out of the Army.
Oh,
For
man.
drinking, fighting, being everything that
Sounds about right.
Yep, shouldn't have been. And he gave me 2 folders. One was I'm getting kicked out of the Army folder. I opened the other one. It was a Green Beret application.
Oh, wow.
And he was Mac VSOG Vietnam. He said, the only place your crazy ass is going to make it is in that Green Beret stuff. So
I love it.
Did 18 years with that
Man,
funny
oh,
hat.
man.
Loved it.
18 years.
18 years.
That's the real deal right there.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. Did a year and a half on the ground in El Salvador, all by myself. Army dropped me off with a radio, said, call in every Sunday, let us know you're still alive. Like, all right, man, we'll do that. And
Wow.
took the first troops into Kosovo and met this wonderful lady over here to your right here, beautiful lady.
Oh, there
she
became
is.
my wife in El Paso when I went to the Sergeant Major's Academy. And I had a great time, man. It was old Army. I was Vietnam vet raised. I would still punch
Yeah.
you in the head. I would not give you an Article 15. I would
I love
make
that.
You dig, I'd make you dig a foxhole.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to give you paperwork. So.
Yeah, I love it.
But wasn't happy, so I got out and we're just right 01 in May before the towers fell.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Well, you
retired in May
kind
of
of got out
01.
at the right time, I would
Yeah.
almost say, right
Well,
there.
the wrong time. I tried to get back in. They said, we got
Oh.
enough of you sergeant majors. I said, what if I go punch a colonel? They go, lose a stripe. They go, nah.
So
ain't
wait a
gonna
second.
help
Let's back up a second because Frank didn't tell me all that.
No.
But Sergeant Major,
me." Yes, sir.
E9. That is like I just snapped to attention here, but
Yeah.
But I drop and give him 50 right here. Sergeant Major, that's the real deal right there. It doesn't. Frank, don't get higher than this.
No.
They're Sergeant Major of the Army, and they're Sergeant Major. That's
I should
E9.
probably
Sergeant
salute.
Major, but-
So listen, that's not an E1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Right.
9. So that's 3 up top, 3 down, and right there, smack dab in the middle.
So
they
I
will f you
told
up.
you he was real. I told
That
you.
is the real. You didn't quite give me all of that. I would have been on my little bit best behavior, but
So speaking
thank you.
of-
That's super impressive for the listeners who do not realize because I just snapped.
Yeah.
E9, that's Sergeant Major. That's
real.
That is real.
Boom. Well, hey, speaking of real, we're
That
on the
is
Real
real.
Biz Happy Hour. We're going to really take a break right now. We're
We
going to
really
be coming
are.
back in just a minute. Hopefully, we didn't blow that too long. And we'll be talking more to Bruce Parkman, and we're going to learn about the Mac Parkman Foundation. Again, parents, stay tuned. Be ready. This is something you cannot miss
Yes.
on the Business Happy Hour.
Come on back. Okay, so let's
Kill the button. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Does this mean anything? Should we be concerned? It says no card, no card.
Long as,
Showing on here.
long as it's
Oh,
on,
okay.
long as it's in the roadcasters, that's.
No, it's all.
Okay.
It's
Good.
all still, even, I'm even recording.
I just got to get this.
Yeah,
thing,
and we're we are live. There's 2 people on. Okay, cool.
Yeah, for some reason it's not popping on mine, so I need to
Wait,
get on here.
yeah,
to share
you got to
it.
share because it only goes to one Facebook. It can't go to more than one.
Have another memory card?
Yeah,
Why is this not
yeah,
sharing?
in the little candy jar there.
I want to
Right
make
for
sure
Sterling.
this is live before we get on with Bruce here. I got to make sure this is live. So we do it from the Business Happy Hour? Or
Well,
do it-
oh wait a second, is that?
can't remember which way I go. Switch to Business
Oh,
Happy
shoot.
Hour.
That's on my. That's not on the. Oh boy, that's okay.
Hold on. I'll get it figured out.
Yeah, it's on my Macintosh. It's not on my. I thought I put it in there on group on the Macintosh group, and I think it's on the main Macintosh page. Hold
We
on.
just switch back to this one.
Oh boy.
And we need to go to Biz Happy Hour.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't pick. When I went in there earlier, I put it on the Macintosh group real estate. Now it's on my my page.
When you have groups on your main page, and you got a link to your main account, but you created a group, sometimes it'll go on your main page.
So is there a reason it's not like I'm in my Facebook and then I search for Real Biz and now I'm on the Real Biz page.
No.
Shouldn't I search-
It's logged into his.
It's on my Facebook page. So you
Okay.
have to share it from my Facebook page. I thought that I'm going to share it right now to
So you got to share it to me then, right?
son of a biscuit eater.
Oh, so it's not showing up on the Real Biz Happy Hour page is the problem.
No, right now we're live on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Not even the
So you just share to me then. It's all right.
I think I can add.
You can add the other one.
I think I can add one right here.
Tune in right now to find out why your children should not be playing contact sports under the age of 14. This is a very serious topic. Exclamation point. All right.
I'm not. Yeah, try.
Can't I share it to the Business Happy
You
Hour
can
as
do
well?
it to the Macintosh group, and then he can share it from there to the Real Biz. How he did it last time. That's how you do it. Well, you kind of vice versa.
If it's on the Real Biz, I can share it on my page. But why can't I share it to the Business Happy Hour right now?
Because you have to be
No, I can do it.
from my page. Yeah.
Yeah. So it now should be on the Business Happy Hour page. So you don't have to worry about anything right now. I don't think. Let's just get it rolling. It's picking up me talking. That's right, because we're live. Hey, Facebook. I totally forgot we're live. All right, so let's just get it rolling. Let's do it. We're good. Let's get our timer up real quick here. Give me 1 second. Start my timer properly. This is what real radio is like, folks. Get ready. All right, this segment is going to be 7 minutes 15. I'm going to do a 7-minute segment just in case we need more time. We're live. Hey, Facebook. Well, Facebook is listening to us. This segment is going to be 7 minutes 15. Why are we hearing that? 7-minute segment just in case we need more time. You guys hear that in your ears?
It's radio, man.
Well, Facebook is listening to us.
I can hear it, though.
You hear that?
Yeah, it's a delay. I'm going to take 1 second.
Why is that in our ears?
Probably because I've got Facebook up, so when it's done, I'll exit out.
Yeah.
It's a delay.
You want to exit
Technical difficulties.
out Facebook because that'll bleed through to the audio.
I've
If
got Facebook
not.
up, so when it's done, I'll exit out.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, good. Ready? All right, 7-minute segment coming up. You ready to hit the button? In 3, 2, 1. Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Real Biz Happy Hour in studio with Jason J. Mac McIntosh.
Welcome back.
And Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com. You want that 100% FHA product for a single family or duplex. No money down. 813mortgage.com or call 813mortgage today. You drop the E, we might drop the fee.
Or even easier, 813-566. Real.
REAL. Real. And
Yes.
you can call that for anything on the show. Mortgages, real estate, or to learn about the Mac Parkman Foundation, which we're about to do. Again, parents, one more thing. If you are listening, whether it's Sunday morning, whether you're on the podcast, wherever you are, whether you're on Facebook, stop what you're doing. Pay attention to this story. I promise it's going to change the way that you raise your kids if they want to play impact sports before age of 14. I know it did for me over a year ago when I first met this amazing man. Bruce, if you don't mind, tell us the story. Where did this book come from about concussive head trauma?
Hey, well, unfortunately, it started with the death of our son. It's we had no idea that he was hurting. I was the last person to see him alive. He came up to me all handsome, getting ready to go to see football. We didn't know that football was going to be his trigger.
Right.
So I hugged him like I always do. I kissed him on the cheek like I always did. Kissed him twice a day. If he left or in the morning when he went to school, and at night, I said, make good decisions. And got a call about an hour later saying that Mac had posted a video saying he was going to hurt himself. And our boy was in so much pain that he literally ran off a 100-foot rock. And I have his phone. The phone survived. I mean, something about Apple phones, right?
Jeez.
And those otter cases. But we were able to, he had a healthcare app. And then in just a devastating amount of pain, you can imagine what a family goes through. J-Mac, you're
Yeah, I lost a son at 23, so we share that bond for sure. It's a pain that you can't understand unless you've lived it yourself,
And we both don't want anybody, and my wife, nobody should be in our shoes.
Never.
Especially if you can do something about it. And that's what this story is about, is we can do something about my son. And so when the coroner report came back, said, it was definitely a suicide, I asked him, I said, then you tell me why my son that has been loved. He's never known any trauma, no violence. He was a follower of the Lord. Went to a private school. He's been all over the world with me. I mean, we sailed the pyramids. We went scuba diving in Tahiti. We did everything. As father, dad, he was my soulmate, as my wife said. He was loved. I said, why isn't he here? And he said, and this is just through the grace of God, he was one of the handful of coroners that took a class on CTE.
Yeah.
And he goes, did your son play contact sports? And if he didn't ask me that question, bro, I would not be here right now. I'd be with my son, because I'll tell you what, I spent a lot of time not wanting to live,
Yeah, well, let's slow that down and talk about that for a second and take it back. So when was this?
This was in September of 21, so September 24th.
Okay, so basically there wasn't the awareness then that there is now, because other professionals, I mean, to rule that way, and you knew there was missing information, you knew that couldn't be right. There's got to be an explanation, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is the explanation. We're going to educate people. and we're going to let people know that these kind of things can cause you to not be the same.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's awareness. So this is an important show. This is an important subject, and we appreciate you telling your story. So let's talk about that doctor and what he told you.
So he said, "Did you play contact?" He played contact sports. So this is Mac left us on the 24th.
Yep.
So this is probably early November. So it takes a while.
Sure.
COVID, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, he started at 6. I said, he played rugby. He played hockey. He found football in middle school. And he goes, look, I tried to do a CTE exam, but I don't have the tools. You need to check that out.
Yeah.
So I found Karen. I just typed in CT. Didn't even know what it was. I mean, I heard about it with Junior Seau stuff, but I was like, how does this apply to my boy? Right.
Right.
I go to CTE.org and I talked to the founder there. She lost her son. He was a college NCAA level 1 player, NCAA level 1. And she goes, well, tell me your son's story. And I said, well, he did all these sports. I said, and he was a football blindside guy, a wrestling captain, and a snowboarder. If there was snow at Breckenridge, we were going. And she goes, my God, Bruce, she goes, your son's brain never had a rest. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, I want you to talk to the Concussion Legacy Foundation. And long story short, because there was some criminal activity around my son's death, he was getting he was medicating the schizophrenia with marijuana, which is proven to be probably the most effective treatment, not drugs. But he was getting it from the football team. And so these guys were breaking into our house. They caused all kinds of trauma, these rich kids, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, because of that activity, we never cremated our son. So by the time it got to Boston University, they were like, man, this is so unfortunate. We're like, what? They go, well, it sounds like your son would have been a perfect candidate, but it's been 3 months since, he passed. Obviously, you don't have the body. And I go, oh, no, wait, this is God working. I go, we never cremated the body. They're like, no way.
Wow.
They said, give us the coroner number, give us the funeral service number.
Yeah.
And they called them up, and they called us back 2 days later, said, you're going to be able to donate. And that's how the rest of the story began. But that's how it started with my son and us not knowing. And even then, we still had no idea what we're getting ready to talk about. That our son, we're still thinking Satan, pornography, drugs, right?
You didn't know what it was. So you made that decision not to cremate for this reason because you had a suspicion? Is that what it was?
So my wife's good friend, her dad is one of the #1 forensic pathologists in the country.
Okay.
And we had, my lawyer's my daughter, right? So I got a doctor and a lawyer.
Oh, there you go.
So I put her on the phone with him. I said, Andy, tell me what's going on. And he says, look, I think there's coercion here. I think there's foul play. And if you cremate your boy, how are we going to take a second look?
Exactly.
On his recommendation.
Good for you. Good for that. That's amazing to have that insight. And you know what? That's fight or flight. I mean, that's your military training. Because anybody else, a civilian, I mean, they're just shutting down. I mean, that's a soldier in you, man. You're like, no. I mean, in the midst of...
That's a greater power, too.
Yeah.
Keeping it all
well,
together.
that, too. But in the midst of that, I mean, that is... My heart goes out to... That's amazing.
So guys,
and good for you for doing that.
We're going to take a quick break on the Business Happy Hour. Please stay tuned. It's only a couple minutes here through the commercials. We want you guys to hear the rest of the story because the real science and the real saving grace is about to come on how we can do it on the Business Happy Hour. Stay tuned.
I think that's something we need to kind of slow down a little bit on that because that's a good point there.
The good shit's coming.
Yeah.
Like on how... saving these kids and getting this research.
But up until that point, the preventative now, just getting the message out there and the awareness, that's the big thing. Because the people that you're already reaching by what you're doing in the book and everything else, and we want to definitely plug that and talk about that.
And that's free. They give it. We send them. We don't. It's on Amazon, but we know people, have problems. So we give out the bracelets all the time. We'll leave a bag of them here.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
No, we'll leave books here. You can give them out to your people.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll take them to my office, too.
We would love to be involved in something that you do, some kind of event or some kind of awareness thing. We should probably put something together.
We're bringing the first ever summit on subconcussive trauma and brain health to Tampa at Campbell's. We're downtown. We're making the deal right now.
Okay.
Oh.
And we're looking for help. We're going to have a fundraiser.
No, we want to be a part of that. I got 30 agents on my team. I want to be a part of that. We'll get shirts made.
We're looking for sponsors to help us out, and then we're trying to get Drew Brees to show up. To speak because he's all about kids not playing contact sports, but then he's going up against the NFL who writes his pension, so we don't know. But
the old Saints. Where did he end up? Where did he finish? I know he was with the Saints for a while.
Yeah, I think he's just. I don't know. He might be on like some shows or something.
Yeah, but what team did he finish with?
The Saints.
I think
was it the Saints?
He was. Yeah, he was.
I thought so.
Sean Payton went somewhere else, but Drew.
Okay,
Brees,
he stayed there.
He got replaced by Jameis Winston.
Well, it's funny. I just remember them always saying Drew, like like boo, you know, Drew. Yeah.
All right, let's roll to a third segment.
Let's do it.
Hit the red button and I'll give you 3, 2, 1. Go for it. All right, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial stuff.
Yeah.
And today, what did you call it, Jay? I think it was very appropriate. This is an educational.
It's an awareness.
An awareness.
It's an awakening awareness.
Yeah.
This is what I call preventative maintenance.
Oh,
right?
God.
Because I mean, he has purpose now, and you know, I'm just amazed by the story. I'm inspired by the story, and I share that pain with you, you know, and it's good that you can do something with it where you can help others prevent it from happening, and that to me is amazing. Your fight, your cause, we're all about it right here at the Real Biz Happy Hour, and honored to have you.
You guys rock, man. And as we get into the story, this is the largest preventable cause of mental illness in this country right now. I mean, and our veterans, because what happened.
Oh, that too. Yeah. I mean, just the whole term mental awareness, mental health awareness. Remember growing up as kids, we didn't talk about it in school. We didn't know. So there's a lot of this was happening for years and decades upon decades. We don't know how many great people we have lost and how many people they misdiagnosed. Oh, it's suicide. I mean, it's sad. It's tragic. And you know, this is why this is important right now. And you know, it's amazing what you're doing, right? For sure.
So what happened, Bruce? So you now they got the body and the brain.
Right. So we made a donation, but during this time, man, my family blew up. Right. My daughters were traumatized. My wife was.
Rightly so.
Everybody, me.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother story there. How I ended up with a stepson, which was really crazy. But, so I ended up packing up everything. We were going to move to Anna Maria. We had a rental property there and try to live there.
Yeah.
We were after Mac left. So I got there and I was just, hurt. And I was like, I want to know why the hell my son ain't here. And what is this CTE shit?
Yeah.
So I started, and why didn't I know about it? Why, as a parent, was I not educated, or my wife, or everybody, were educated on, seatbelts and secondhand smoking and drinking and driving and drugs and everything? Why do parents not know what about the CT stuff and how does it affect my son?
Right, because you're spending all this time worrying about the other things that you are aware of.
Right.
That you think you're controlling everything, and something like this sneaks up on you, and you have no idea. That's a great point right there.
It's the known risks, and so I read over 200 research papers.
Okay.
And I'm a soldier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Things make sense, right? And I'm like, look. There's all this research saying
exactly
that this type of trauma, this subconcussive trauma, or what they used to call repeated head injuries, and it really didn't even have a name, was causing this trauma to the brain that has been associated. I started with my son's mental illness. He was schizophrenic and depressed.
Yeah.
Well, I found out that all those major psychological disorders are associated with damage to key parts of the brain, the temporal lobe and the prefrontal cortex, which we talked about.
You talked about before the show that before age 14, it's still forming and
doesn't even start developing.
Haven't even started developing.
14.
So that
doesn't even start.
That's the key right there.
And you cannot function as an adult without a prefrontal cortex that's functioning. Everything we're doing right now, talking, and that prefrontal cortex is right here behind the forehead. It takes 80% of the trauma. If kids are starting contact sports at 6, by the time they're 14, the myelin, the axons, the synaptic counts are all heavily devastated, and you are going to have
still forming and growing and fusing.
Challenged child.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't even start developing. And then between the age 11 and 13, I found out there's a second stage, what's called synaptogenesis, where the synaptic count blows up in preparation for puberty.
That's puberty, exactly right. Yeah.
So you're talking about a brain that's developing, one of the most complex organisms with 100,000 miles of myelin, over 100 billion neural connections, that's in the gelatinous form, that's encased in a small membrane of fluid inside a bony skull. And we don't think that thing's vulnerable to damage by smacking it around inside of a helmet or on a wrestling mat or hitting a soccer ball. And that's what I put together. And when I wrote that book, The editor for that book is Dr. Julie Stamm, who wrote The Brain on Contact Sports. That book is written in 5th grade English, 88 pages for parents to be informed to decide whether or not they want their child to participate in contact sports.
Yeah.
And the reasons why we are promoting do not participate in contact sports till 14. Do not contact sports, flag football, touch rugby, no head soccer, no check hockey.
Yeah.
And avoid the pain, because even if you think the risk is acceptable, it's not. Because your son, your daughter is experiencing subconcussive trauma. Nothing stops it. Helmets don't stop it. Mats don't stop it. When that brain's in motion and it stops, you get impact, and that impact changes.
It's no different than a car accident. You've seen the videos of the dummies in the car accidents hitting the wall at 60 miles an hour. Car stops, bodies don't. So what do you think's happening in the brain?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. Your brain's hitting a brick wall.
Good analogy, Frank. And the average, one study showed that the average G-force that these hits is 24 Gs.
Oh, man.
That's the average.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of a 30-mile-an-hour car crash. That's the average.
You know, the thing that you just don't understand is they've known this biology for decades, right? So it's just putting 2 and 2 together that, like, listen, and this is a dangerous thing that's happening. I mean, awareness should have been created.
Why do you think we haven't heard about it?
Yeah.
Because they've known about Punch Drunk and Dumb Jock and all that forever. Why do you think, Bruce?
I honestly think, number one, we're a sports craze culture, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you talk to any neurologist and researcher out there, their kids will not come within 100 yards of a football. They won't. They're like, no way is my kid doing that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we know this? This is a failure of our national health.
That's what I was getting at.
NIH, CDC.
That's what I was getting at.
All these agencies that we rely on that are taxpayer funded, they're supposed to inform us of these dangers. We have no even idea how many kids are incarcerated right now because damage to the prefrontal cortex invokes hostility and aggression and all that. But our messaging, our researchers and scientists know this, but they don't know how to market. And then you've got the other side, the NFL, NHL, all the other communities. They have there's a lot of money, Pop Warner, all these leagues, but I don't know if they've dialed it in. I know that everybody we talk to says this makes sense.
Yeah.
And it needs to happen. And the messaging's not taking place. And that is the sole purpose.
Listen, there has been national attention here recently, over a few years, with NFL players doing, you know what I mean?
And that's the problem. CTE and concussions, when a parent says, that's an older player, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to involve my kids. So all
it was ongoing the whole time. It just...
But they've never looked at the subconcussive exposure. And that's what's scaring people now, because this is science. We just paid for a study that showed that out of all the brains under 40, 100%, even if they didn't have CTE like our sons, 100% of them had structural damage associated with psychological disorders, and all of them committed suicide. So this is science. This is research.
So every single suicide victim that they looked at the brain,
and that brain bank
had subconcussive.
Yeah, but
was there because of suicide, and all of them had highly subconcussive sports careers behind them before they committed suicide.
Not just that. There was that athlete Hernandez, maybe.
Yeah,
where
Hernandez,
the family, this is dangerous. And
how about the Bucks player that went crazy on the field? Who was that?
Yes, that too.
Who was that? Antonio?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
But everybody says, he's just crazy. No, he's got a brain injury.
Right.
This is a lot more common than than what's out there.
And that's the big point, is that we need to get focused on the real cause. The CTE, the concussions, they don't hurt, but you can heal from a concussion. You cannot heal from playing sports 1 year round and the continuous exposing of your brain.
So check this out. If that's happening in people that are already developed, that's an adult. So they're past the 14 years. That's why that's why it's even more important, because it can happen later too.
Well, something Bruce said to me the first time I had him on the radio, I've never forgot it, is he defined dumb jock for me.
Yeah.
And we've all heard the word dumb jock. Maybe you're not allowed to say it today. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I grew up, it was dumb jock. And it was always the big, badass football players. Yeah. Right? They were awesome at every sport, but they what do you call it? Educationally,
they were slow.
They were slower.
Yeah.
So you explained it to me, And it made perfect sense.
My wife brought that up, man.
Right.
She says that term's been around for what, 40 years?
Forever.
Or a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
And you wonder, it emanated from, boxing. Yeah. We have to understand that the kids' brains, while it's developing, they just cannot be impacted by this kind of trauma. There's nothing against contact sports. I'm 61. I still play rugby.
Sure.
All right? I still play rugby twice a year with my buddies. Yeah. I'm all about smacking another dude. Yeah. But if we don't wait until that brain's ready, and by the way, it doesn't mature fully till 25.
Yeah.
Right. God. Then why
goes on into college?
Right. And so we are literally risking our future. We talked about the loss of human capital. How many scientists and presidents and leaders have we lost?
How many
Einsteins, right?
Yeah.
How many soldiers have committed suicide because they were explosive breachers or artillery guys or patriot people all around?
That's right. For sure.
That is a subconcussive
event. It absolutely is.
And it's powerful, too, bro. It ain't just like getting smacked by a football tackle. Your brain is rocked. Yeah. And so we've got, we have no idea the how much the drugs. I guess I don't know what kind of damage it does, but if the damage is stretched myelin, which is hard with drug abuse, but if the myelin damaged and you get synaptic death and you end up with the types of damage that's caused from subconcussive trauma, then there could be a correlation.
And there's a way to, we got to take a break. When we get back, we're going to, Bruce, you have a lot of great things going on that we want to tell everybody about.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys are going to win a boat, but more importantly, you can save a life. So stay tuned here at the Business Happy Hour with Bruce Parkman and the Mac Parkman Foundation. We'll be back in just a minute.
Yep. So this is number...
Ooh, that was a good fucking segment.
That was really good. That was 3?
That was 3.
Yeah, they go fast. Okay.
So last segment.
So this is for the glory. So we want to squeeze all of it in. Any events, anything we need to plug, everything.
Thanks for letting me talk to you.
For sure, man.
Yeah. And by the way,
this is powerful. This is your show today.
Well, I talked to Frank before, man. I mean, I'm on my 8th company.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur stuff. I've had blow up. If you ever need me to come on and help talk about
for sure, man.
Companies, blowing up companies.
Actually, we're about to schedule some back-to-back shows. Let's put them on one.
Yeah.
I'll schedule them before you leave.
Anybody you think you can bring too for other things too. Yeah, bring another guest too. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we can still plug. We'll still talk about. We'll give a whole segment, whatever you want, to Mac Parkman Foundation.
I appreciate it, man. Just your willingness to sponsor.
Yeah,
awesome.
and we'll be able. The more we have you on, we can also get you some clips and some footage and some reels that we can give to you too, that you can share and put stuff out there.
We'll blast your show all over. We got a pretty big social media.
Okay, well, hey, well, there you go.
It ain't no free chicken, man.
Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever.
I always have a hard time saying
Hillary taught me how to do it. What do you want to hit?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I got some information on the Tarpon tune-up that supports.
Okay, so we'll get back in. We'll kind of wrap up, not wrap up, but we'll just say, bring it all together on I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe I can ask you what could a parent do? Like what, Bruce, you said that there may be a way to save kids. What do we do? And I'll give you that. Hit that for a couple minutes. I'll throw you a couple things so time, and then we'll just be like, Bruce, let's talk about these events. Yeah. All right, and I think
you mean take it off?
You definitely want to do the September 24th if you're going to do that. The wintheboat.org.
Don't worry about all that.
The gala. This is going to play. This is going to play after the gala.
Yeah.
So you probably want to do the other ones, is what I'm thinking. The Brain Conference, whatever you want to do.
The Brain Conference, the boat, and the Big Mac for Mac Day would be
Big Mac for Mac.
We'll cover those.
I love that.
Let's even say on here, because you asked about it, say, is anybody affiliated with McDonald's who wants to reach out? Yeah. Please give us a call. Go to MacParkmanFoundation.com or call let's do that to try to get you somebody from McDonald's.
Great, man. I'd love to meet somebody from McDonald's.
McDonald's, if you're watching Facebook, we need your help.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's
my other podcast is called Real Mac Moves. It'd be cool to do. We should do a podcast on there too, because it's not radio, so it's a little freer and we can be a little looser.
Yeah, man.
And we already got a shit that we got, but don't worry about that. So on the other one, you can do whatever you need to, but we're not.
I'll bring Mac stuff all in that.
Yes, let's get him.
That'd be awesome.
Let's get him on the schedule to do a podcast if you don't mind. Let's do a Real Mac Moves right here,
dude. Let's triple up.
Yes, we can do that.
Done, because that's only 20 minutes anyway.
Yep.
Or whatever we want. All right, let's rock and roll on this. All right, let me get my timer started. Hold on. Let me not screw this last segment up. Give me 1 second.
We're a bunch of squirrels, but we get to the nuts. We do get to the nuts.
We do get to the nuts. Yes, eventually. All right, we got 7:14. All right.
What's that? Oh, I know, right? She's not here today.
All right, give me 1 second to hit it start here, and then I'll tell you to roll. 7, drop it down. I'm shortening it up by 14 just in case.
Yeah.
Because we might have blown the first one. All right, I'm ready when you are. Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, the real Biz Happy Hour with Jason J. McIntosh and yours truly, Frank the Bank Cotto, 813mortgage.com. Today has been one of my favorite shows of all time. I've got a good friend of mine, Bruce Parkman, on here. We're talking about the Mac Parkman Foundation. If you missed the first 2/3 of the show, I really implore you to go to iHeartRadio, find the podcast. If you have children that are playing sports or want to under age 15, I'm going to push it a year, Mac, Bruce. And I really encourage you to listen to this. It is such valuable information. And I have to talk about his book again really quick. Youth Contact Sports and Broken Brains. Guys, this is #1 bestseller on Amazon right now. And guess what? Free. This is a free book. All right. And the reason it's free is because you've got to read this. And nobody should have to pay for this information to save their kids. Bruce, I can't imagine what you've been through. You've taken the time to share it with us. I really appreciate it. I want to ask you a question. How do we save the kids? What can we do about this?
Well, I mean, Frank, we got two problems here. We got, first of all, if we protect them by, saying you're not playing contact sports till 14. All right, that's how we protect them. All right. Yeah. After that, we've got to get away from this. You got to play football for the town, the travel league. Yeah. Playing a year round is too much. Back when we were young, right? I remember. Mac, we played one season and then we rested. All right, we have to get back to that. The brain needs 3 things to heal: rest, blood, and oxygen.
That's right.
If it's continuously pounding, that doesn't happen, and that exacerbates the damage that's already taken place. Yeah. So the first thing is just don't let your kids play, and the reason why is because you love them. And yes, you can play sports.
That's right.
All this stuff about they only learned work ethics because running into another human being is not a skill. I'm a rugby player, right? That's not a skill. No, all right? Not. And I've had more coaches telling me that if they waited till high school, the injuries that they would show up without. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
The skills they learn in flag football are equally important. They still get the teamwork, they still get the camaraderie, but more importantly, their futures are intact. And then play that one season, and then you're still risking it. You're still rolling that dice. But if you're that nuts, then you cut them out after one season.
Now, what if they already have the traumatic injuries?
And that's the other part is that we have to diagnose and identify these kids, and that's why we're so fired up about mental health.
Because there's treatment now.
There is treatment, but the #1 illness that we're overlooking, the symptoms of this brain damage is mental health.
Yeah.
And too often our kids are saying, I'm mentally ill, and they're getting diagnosed with mentally ill. And nobody's asking, have you ever played contact sports?
That's right. How and why? Because sometimes there's explanations of how it came on.
Well,
absolutely.
Our psychiatric community and the medical community is absolutely ignorant of subconcussive trauma. So those questions never get asked. So we have to identify or empower parents. We just won a $40,000 grant to build an app, a subconcussive app for parents, so they can give their own baseline test. They can.
Interesting.
I mean, for TES, for the diagnosis of TES, the protocols are real easy. Yeah. Do you have mental illness? Is it progressing? Have you played 5 years or more contact sports? They include 2 in high school. Yeah. And are there known familial or genetic traits? If you have all 4 of those as a yes, then your child quite possibly could have a brain injury, which is traumatic encephalopathy syndrome. And you got to get them treatment. Don't send them.
Let's talk about the treatment part because you were talking about that before we even got on the show, and just the awareness of the things that, let's just say, you do discover it and you have preventively for it getting worse, right? So some of the things that they may be able to do to treat and help get that back under control.
Right. So the ability to diagnose the actual damage of the brain, CT scans and MRIs.
The severity.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Right. They look for massive problems, right, in the brain. But there are things called a DTI scan, but it's the mental illness, their apathy, their drug or substance abuse, their eating disorders, their sleep disorders, their impulsivity, their hostility, their aggression.
There you go.
That if that's getting worse, if that's in place and it's getting worse, and they play our book, are floored that they don't know this information.
Man.
These are doctors.
Right.
I pulled down the athletic training curriculum of some of the best schools in the world. There's not even any coverage on subconcussive trauma at all.
Wow.
We are absolutely insanely ignorant of this as a society. And so if your child, if their child or adults, I mean, if you're an adult at 30, 40 years old and you played in college, you played in high school, you played sports, you were one of those, you played just tons, right? And you're having marital problems, you're having anxiety problems, you're having depression, you're not crazy. All right, you've been exposed to a lot of concussive trauma, subconcussive trauma, and some of this damage takes a long time.
Sure.
Now look at CTE. When CTE was first started, they found it in 50s and 60-year-old players. Now they're finding it in players in their 20s and 30s. Why? Because they're starting at 6, they're starting at 8, and they're playing all year round, and it's just too much. God did not make these brains to be beat around like this. It's logic.
Nope.
It's science and research. In the last 3 years, when I started writing my book, there was maybe 1 or 2 page documents on subconcussive trauma. Look it up now. Just Google subconcussive trauma. In the last 3 years, there's been an explosion of research and understanding that this is the true problem. The concussions are not the problem. A concussion will heal if you give it rest. But they're not fun. I've had enough of them. But the problem is
the continuing and
lifestyle. It's the lifestyle.
That's what it is.
One, J-Mac. That is the problem that we have to stop.
So, guys, we've got, I know the segment, Bruce, thank you so much for coming on, but we only have a minute left, so I know there's some events that we want to talk about. Let's get those out real quick so everybody knows.
All right, so we got Win This Boat. We've got the #1 party boat, the loudest boat in Sarasota. Is up there. Go to winthisboat.org. Winthisboat.org.
Win This Boat.
$100 a ticket. Only 2,500 tickets will be sold. We have Big Mac for Mac Day on the 24th of September. That's when Mac left
Mickey D's McDonald's. We were looking for a sponsor.
We need help from McDonald's.
Anybody associated with McDonald's, I'd love to talk to them about sponsoring that. And then the last thing is we are bringing the first summit on subconcussive trauma and brain health to Tampa Camels Arena next April and May. Stay tuned. I want to get that out. We have an amazing event planned.
We will have you out before then to definitely plug that.
And if you want to hear more from Bruce, we are going to have him on within the next 30 days. Again, we're going to have him on the J-Mac podcast as well, Real Mac Moves. Bruce, you're a friend of the show now.
Yeah,
just like
absolutely.
You're a friend of mine.
Thank you so much, man. So much energy here.
Absolutely.
Man. And I'll tell you what, when nobody could get me a mortgage for my boat, Frank got me a mortgage.
813-566
he came through, and I got a beautiful boat now because of Frank. Right? And I know J-Mac. I know you put out for those vendors. So I love you guys, man.
Thanks.
Thank
love
so
you,
much,
man. Thanks for coming.
Have a great week, guys. Mac Parkman Foundation. Check it out. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.